So today we're looking at the Niwalker ES3. This is a 21700 flashlight with 3 heads and 9 emitters. The max lumen output is 11,300 lumens. So let's take a look. This is the packaging it came in. Just kind of gives you an idea here. Let's take a look. This is metal gray, or I guess gunmetal gray. This is the Osram LED 3A1 PM. It says 4000 Kelvin, which on the flashlight itself and on the box it says 4000 K, but on the website it says 3000 K. So I'm not sure. It looks like 3000 Kelvin to me. So maybe it's a typo, or maybe they changed out the source of LEDs and never changed the branding, but I'm not sure. But we'll take a look at that in a little bit. This says waterproof, IPX7, impact resistant to 1.5 meters. And yeah, it has tritium slots in it, which are, I guess, in between the handles right there, as you can see those. And then in the back. So, and actually in the head. So that's pretty interesting. So now let's take a look at what comes inside the box. So this is what we get inside the box, along with some foam to hold the flashlight intact and shipping. You get this bag. It's got the USB-C cable, because it's USB-C rechargeable. Right on the back here, under this flap. You get a very nice lanyard with a hook. Seems pretty durable compared to other lanyards I've seen. I like it. Some extra O-rings. And then your instruction manual. So let's take a look at what they have to say about this flashlight when it comes to the specs. So this manual is a little bit all over the place. It's kind of, it's numbered like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of random, but that's all right, I guess. The parameters aren't for this light. They're for the max output one, which has the XPL HDs in it, which I believe is cool white, if I'm correct about that. But those put out 3,750 lumens per head. So 3 heads, that's about 11,300 lumens, something around that range. Yeah, it shows you the lumen output, different modes. There's an indicator light on the button for the battery. It is, like we went over earlier, IPX6, waterproof, 200 grams. There's different LED modules. This is the V3.3. You're supposed to only use V3.3 with this light, or it won't work. The tritium cutouts are 6.5 by 1.55 millimeter. 21700, Type C at 1.1 amp. It charges around 220 meter beam distance. And a lot of this other stuff that I'm not really going to read everything for you today, but there you go if you want to look at it. Let's see if I can straighten it out for you. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look at the flashlight body, and then we'll look at the UI, which is a little bit not crazy complicated, but it's got a good amount of stuff to it, which is cool. So this thing has a super nice finish, nice and smooth. I like the gray color. That's what I got, but I like it. It's got this little ring here for the lanyard where the little clip goes on. It spins, which is interesting. You got your button here. Got some cooling elements here. The fins, the triple heads. One other thing that I noticed is cool. This has turbo glow. I don't know if it's turbo glow, but it has some kind of glow gasket in the LED area. Let's see if I can show you that right now. Let me charge them up real quick. Maybe you can see that. Yeah, let's shut the lights off. Let's see if you can see it. Charge it up. There you go. There it is. Green. So that's pretty cool. So on the side of the heads here, it just says the emitter and the output and the color rendering index, and then the Kelvin. But that's, like I said, that says 4,000, but I'm pretty sure it's 3,000. I don't have a way to test that, but it looks like 3K to me if I've compared it to other lights that I have that are 3,000 Kelvin. The battery bay. The threads are super smooth, which is nice. It comes with its own battery, which is even better. 4,000 milliamp hour Niwalker battery. Yeah, has its own battery, which is also a big plus, especially if you don't have a 21700 laying around. If this is your first light, then here you go, you got one. That's about it for the body. I like the style. It's got a little bit of different milling in the sides, this little lattice pattern, and this little lines here give it a good grip. The shape of it too, you can see how it's kind of skinny up top and fatter down the bottom. It fits nicely in the hand there. Head size isn't too big, it's not overly large, which is cool. So it's pretty good output for the size. And yeah, you can get different heads for it. I mean, this unscrews just like this. Let me see if I can get this for you. Just like that. And they have like 6 different kinds. They have the cool white XPL HDs. They have, I think they have Samsung. They have, I think they have Nichia as well. It's also colored, red, green, blue. And then there's also one with a reflector in it. I think it's a little bit longer, but, and you can choose the channel what you want to have on at a certain time. So it would be useful to have different ones in there. Maybe like a, I don't know, a red for like a light in the dark if you want to ruin your night vision, and like a throwing light, and then just one, I guess, maybe like a high CRI LED if you want to, like a light. It's cool. You can use it for many things. But let's see if we can take a look at this UI and explain it a little bit. So first we're going to look at the single, dual, or triple head output. Like I said, you can pick between which one. It gives you different kinds in here. You don't want all the ones going at once. So that is just a triple click and hold from off. So you got 3, you get that one, and all those patterns are what's going to be used when you turn it back on. So if I go like this, and then I want to use just that one, so now when I turn it on, let's see if we can put it on low so I don't blind everybody. There's that. There's just that one. And then it would be just like all the other ones. I can do just these 2, or this one, or these 2, or that 2, which is cool. Real easy to access too. And then from off, 4 clicks will lock the light out, and it won't turn back on. It'll just blink like that. And then to shut it off, you just click 4 times. And here you go, back to normal operation. Then from off, 3 clicks, just like an Enduro light, it'll blink out the voltage on the battery. So in this case, it's 4.1 volts. There's also a auto power off setting, which from off, 4 clicks and press hold to enter the automatic shutdown time setting. So from 4 clicks and hold, it will automatically shut down, and then you can choose how long you want it to be, either a single flash or a double flash. A single flash is 5 minutes, or a double flash is 10 minutes. So it'll stay on for 5 or 10 minutes, pertaining to which mode you chose. So then there's also Morse Code, which is kind of just like momentary on with 5 clicks. And then it turns on with anything. I guess you could signal with this thing. And then to shut that off, you just unscrew the tail cap, release the connection between the battery and the flashlight, and it should reset to normal, just like that. Now I'm not gonna show this one because it's kind of a lot to show for the video, but there's a timekeeping mode. I guess 7 clicks when on off will access this mode, and you can kind of choose. You know, it can be like kind of a timekeeper for you, like a stopwatch or what have you. You can read that if you want, but I'm not going to demonstrate it because it's kind of in-depth. And then regular modes, you got 1 click on. You just hold it down to go through the stepped ramping. There's 9 levels, and then when it blinks like that, that indicates the top. And then a double click will get you your turbo mode. And you can see the color there. It's pretty warm. And then from off, a double click will go straight to turbo. And then a double click from turbo will bring you your strobe function. And a long press will change the strobe speed from fast to slow. You can just shut that back on to turbo and then shut it off. And then you got your basic moonlight by holding it down. Right there. I didn't even tell that was on. I thought that was off. But that's super low. That's very low. That's awesome. That would probably last a real long time on that mode. So that's Firefly Indoor Moonlight. And then you got 1 click to shut off Moonlight. So that's it for the UI. A lot of stuff to it. It's actually pretty good that they got that amount of functions in there. I like that about this flashlight. A lot of them are just, on or off or whatever, but some of them you probably would never use, but at least it's there as an option. Easy access to turbo, easy access to moonlight. Click on and click off, nothing crazy. I think there's mode memory for that 9-stepped ramping mode. And yeah, that's about it for the UI. So now, let's take this thing outside and we'll see what it looks like. I'll compare it to a couple other lights, I guess, of the similar size and or battery type. And we'll see what we get. So I got the lumen tube. We're going to see what this thing puts out for lumens real quick. Firstly, I'm going to try this light, which is rated at 1800 lumens, just to prove that the multiplier is correct. I'll put this thing on. Turbo. Lock it in there. So we got about 680. We'll go 685. So let's go 685 times 2.6229. So that's it, 1796 lumens. So I'd say this is pretty calibrated, this tube is. So now let's try this, the Niwalker ES3. Let's see what we get out of it. Let's clear that out. On. Turbo. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt and go 1390. 1390 times 2.6229. So I'm only getting 3,600 lumens out of this thing. The battery's fully charged, so yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be, according to the heads, 2,350 a piece. That's about, what, 7,300 lumen? So, yeah, seems to be well under what it's rated for. We knew this was correct. This was 1,800 lumens. It measured that perfectly. So, yeah, that's what we're getting. We're about half of the rated lumens. That's not even 30 seconds. That's about 10 seconds. So, yeah. So, we got the Niwalker ES3 out here. I got us in a little bit of a closer environment because this light is not super throwy, so I figured I'd get a little bit closer up. So this is it on low. I'm going to start cycling through the modes here. That tree back there in the far back, about there, is about 150 feet away. I'm going to put it on turbo. This is about what it looks like in real life. I tried to get the camera exposure correct. You can see it's got a pretty good flood to it. Super warm emitters. See if I can get this, to turn a little bit here. This thing sustains its output pretty long. There it is on those trees back there. That brown house in the back is about 300 feet, I'd say, away. But it's twice as far as that tree right there. You can see it lighting it up pretty good right there. And we're still sustaining. Let me see if we were still sustaining the turbo output after that about 2-minute period. So let's compare this to a couple other lights. That's low, that's off. So this is it on turbo. I'm going to switch to the D4s V2, which is a 4,000 lumen quad optic. I believe this has 4 XPL high, 6500K, cool white emitters. It's going to be more throwy, but kind of give you the same idea of light output. You can see how that's got a much more defined hotspot on it. throws much harder versus this guy. Much cooler, much better color temperature though. I love this color temperature on this light. So that's those two. Next we're going to do the smaller of the pop can size lights, the Msr D18. I tested this at 10,000 lumens. So effectively their rating on this flashlight, like we tested, it was only 4,000. This should be about as bright as this thing, and that's not even turbo. This is turbo for the D18. Yeah, that's nowhere near what this one's rated at. This one's so much brighter. You can see the hot spot as well. So that's 10,000 lumens, and this should be 9,000, or excuse me, 7,000. It's pretty close, but it's definitely not. You can see, I mean, that's much brighter. It's at least half the brightness of it. Lastly, we have the Noctagon M43 Meteor, another similarly sized light and output multi-emitter light. It's got 4 cells, but it's about the same size in your hand. And technically this should be the same brightness as this. It's only about 7,000 lumens, my unit. So let's see. So this is the Meteor. Much throwier. Nice wide hot spot on this guy. About 7,000 lumens. Really throws really hard. 7,000. And then this ES3 definitely has a hot spot to it. But I mean, yeah, I like the beam profile. I like how skinny it is. The size is only 1 cell, 21700, and yeah, nice and compact. It's pretty bright, good tint. You could switch the heads out too. Fairly expensive, but to buy extra heads. But if this is what you want, it's definitely a good option.